First party controller, third party controller. Nowadays, there's a lot of excellent third party controllers on the market, like this one from 8-bit Do or Do, I'm not really sure, correct me in the comments. But this is their ultimate controller, and this is actually the one that I use nearly every day on my computer. I barely even use this Xbox controller anymore. However, that wasn't always the case. Anyone like me that was growing up in the mid-90s and early 2000s will remember the nightmares of the third-party controller. One brand in particular that strikes fear in the hearts of many is Mad Catz. You can ask anyone that used a Mad Catz controller and they're all gonna tell you the same thing. It was garbage. But while Mad Catz kind of dominated the third-party controller scene in the late 90s and early 2000s, there was another, and that was Nyko. Oh, would you look at that? They were asking $30 for it at one point. Would you believe me if I told you I didn't even pay half of that? And this is still brand new. It's still completely sealed with its original little Nyko stickers on both sides and on the bottom. Nobody ever opened this. And this thing is from the year of our Lord 1998. It has been sealed in its box since then. Now, the only other time that I've ever used a Nyko controller was one of their PlayStation 2 ones. And it was one of their like airflow ones, so it had a fan in it and it blew air out the grips to cool your hands, which it was great until the analog sticks just kind of stopped working. So curious if these are gonna have that same problem. Oh, I know this sticker is in the way. It does say Scorpion. It's not just Orpion. Now, the main reason that I got this is because this shape of controller looks strikingly similar to that weird like concept PlayStation 3 boomerang controller, and I just had to have it after my brain made that connection. Now, the good news is that since this came out in 1998, we get our dual analog sticks. Early PlayStation 1 controllers didn't have analog sticks, so that's nice. We even get DualShock feedback. We've also got a few other features, like independent buttons for turbo and slow motion. I don't entirely know what that means. I understand what turbo does. You set it to a specific button, and then it just constantly presses that button over and over again. I don't really understand what the slow one does. Is that just the same thing, but it does it slower? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to test those functions for reasons we'll get into in a little bit. Look at this ergonomic design that they have. Look at where L and R2 are. I've never seen a controller look like that before. Okay. Let's get this bad boy open. Now, I'm going to be careful doing this because I actually kind of want to save this packaging because I find this purple and green color scheme that they've gone with absolutely incredible. So I'm going to do as little damage as possible to this thing. Oh boy, that was so far removed from gentle. There we go. Oh, I said it was going to be gentle and I immediately threw it on the floor. So we've got our instruction manual, which, oh no. Oh God. No, none of that is English. Okay, only this part is English. I'm gonna have a quick read of this, see if there's anything funny in it. Okay, the only thing in here that's kind of weird is the little bit about using the slow motion function, which it just says to activate slow motion function, press the slow button and then press again to deactivate. It doesn't say anything about binding it to a specific button on the controller at all. I don't really know what that means. That's it for those. This thing looks ridiculous. Oh, come here, you. Oh yeah, that's right. It is a wired controller after all. Okay, immediately the analog sticks don't feel great. Oh God, look at this D-pad. I don't even know what this is. I don't know how to describe that. Oh my God, that is the mushiest thing I have ever felt. It feels like I'm not pressing anything. Oh, that's gonna be horrible to use. Okay, let's try our face buttons. Okay, giving the face buttons a few presses, they're very mushy. They're not the worst I've ever felt, but they are very mushy. So if we look at the back here, so the way that they intend for you to have your hand on this is middle finger always on R2, and then your index finger is resting on R1. So you end up holding it like this, which would take a lot of getting used to because this could just be me. But whenever I use a controller, I don't use my middle fingers for anything other than gripping the controller. I only use my index fingers for these buttons. So I'd have to retrain my brain to use L2 and R2 with my middle finger. To its credit, since it is shaped this way, this is actually surprisingly comfortable to hold. The buttons feel terrible, but holding the controller itself doesn't feel all that bad. Okay, so the cable's about 6 feet. Hopefully you're not too far away from your TV to use this. Okay, well, I guess the only thing left to do is to actually try and play some games with it, which that problem I alluded to earlier is this. I don't own a PlayStation 1 or even a PlayStation 2 anymore, but it's fine because I bought this. So I should be able to just use this with my PlayStation 3, or if that doesn't work, then we're just gonna try hooking it up right to the PC and we'll see if that works. Okay, so I've got it hooked up to my PlayStation 3 and it does seem to just work, so that's good. Now I guess it's time to play a PlayStation 1 game. We're gonna go with, Symphony of the Night will be a good one to test that D-pad out with. Oh, there's no memory card. There's no home button, so I can't go to the memory card options. Oh well, that's fine. We don't need to save our game. It's fine. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh! So that's what the slow mode button does. All it does is when you press it, it will constantly pause and unpause the game. Slow motion. I don't know why you would want that. Okay, I've yet to be able to do the dash attack. Oh boy. It really doesn't feel like I'm pressing anything with this D-pad. I can't even get Richter to run, because normally you double tap in a direction and he'll start running. Oh, this D-pad is horrible. Whoa. Okay, so normally when you double tap X, Richter does like kind of a backflip. But I have to press it 3 times for it to register that. Oh, that's horribly inconsistent. It's like missing inputs. That would explain why I can't do the dash attack. Oh, did it once. Okay. So now that we're Alucard, let's try and do his like special sword attack thing. Oh, I got it once. Okay. I can't, this D-pad is horrible. That is absolutely insane. So if you were thinking about getting one of these for yourselves for whatever reason, any game that relies on a D-pad, no. Let's try something that uses the analog sticks. Okay, I didn't know this was a thing, but I just hit the analog button, and it takes several seconds, but it does pull up the PlayStation 3 menu, so that's pretty cool. Okay, initial impressions. The analog stick is significantly more usable than the D-pad is. Oh no. So immediately we have a bad analog stick. If I hold left, the Spyro walks instead of runs. Oh, that is so bad. Oh, there he goes. Now he's not. Good job, Nyko. Alright, next we'll try some sort of first-person shooter to see how the other analog stick fares. Okay, so I tried a few different PlayStation 2 games. None of them will recognize this controller. This is probably just one of those weird things with backwards compatible PS3s, because there's a whole thing with controllers on PS3 playing PlayStation 2 games. It's just a mess. So we're just gonna go for a PlayStation 3 game now. Yeah, Borderlands 2. Ooh. What? Oh, well, that's good. So I guess the tolerances inside aren't too great, because now my analog stick is stuck and my character is just spinning around. Oh god, clicking in the sticks is just horrible. There's like no travel to it whatsoever, and there's no sound. So I just push down the stick and have to hope that it's activating it. Ooh, man, turning left is really rough because it catches on something on the inside. That has got to be the weakest rumble I have ever felt on anything. Oh yeah, so there's definitely still a problem with the left analog stick, so moving left, I'm going a lot slower than moving right. Oh, yep, there it goes again. Totally stuck. And it's possible I could open it up and fix that, but let's be honest. I probably won't be using this controller after this video is done. Ugh, again, it's just totally stuck. So far with this controller, D-pad is terrible, and both analog sticks have a problem with left. We're gonna try just one more game, and we're gonna switch over to PC. Okay, so after running around in Destiny for a little while, I have come to a few conclusions. Conclusion number 1, this thing is actually pretty comfortable to hold. It's a little funky to get used to using my middle finger, but honestly after about a couple minutes, it felt very natural. That being said, these analog sticks aren't very good. Left analog stick sometimes just does like a quick jump randomly, and the right analog stick does the same thing, but with the added benefit of still getting kinda stuck on the left-hand side. If these analog sticks actually worked well, I probably would just use this controller because it's surprisingly comfortable to hold. The plastic does feel very cheap though, and on the back here, it's kind of thin plastic as well, because it doesn't take too much for me to bend it, and honestly, if I tried, I probably could just snap this handle off. But by far the worst thing about this controller is this D-pad. I don't even think it could be called a D-pad. I don't know what this is. It's a nightmare. It doesn't feel good at all. It feels like I'm just mushing my thumb around and hoping for the best, and that's all I can really say about it. It's absolutely terrible. If you want me to look at more old third-party controllers, give the video a like or leave me a comment, because I find this very amusing, because there's a lot of really very oddly shaped third-party controllers out there. I will see you guys in the next video.